And bonjour. This is Bruno here, back in San Francisco after ASCO in Chicago. I'm still adjusting back. Here was Kalpana. And the reason why I have my celebratory jacket in purple, purplish, is that obviously it's been an amazing ASCO for pancreatic cancer, which color is the purple. It's also the color of LARVOL, obviously, and a doubling of overall survival for pancreatic cancer led to a huge standing ovation. Now, I don't know why Shahir, it didn't end up with a big change in the stock price. So I guess the market knew it, but still, I expected that the stock didn't shift too much, right? For RevMed.
This happens when you. So we had very good insights. Hello, everybody. But everybody probably knew about it already, so they were kind of expecting that, and uh, that's probably what happened. But
Okay,
I
but
don't.
by the way, nobody cares because what we care about is the fact that patients are going to live twice as long. And that's
True
what
that.
matters. And that's incredible. And what we wanted to do today is to do a bit of a recap on ASCO, but there's so much to be recapped that we decided to focus just on GI. And Kalpana and her team and Sandeep and team are building we call it the ASCO Conf recap, and it's a document that summarizes, and it's issued about 24 hours after the end of the conference, and it summarizes all of the key takeaways from ASCO. And we have one for lung, one for breast, one for GU, one for GI. I think usually we have one for IMHONC. I don't know if we had it here because there's EHA at the same time that probably took a lot of the energy from ASCO in liquid tumor. So what I wanted to do is actually to ask Kalpana to walk us through that document, that recap that she helped build. And in particular, I'm sure we're going to focus on the Resolute trial that got the standing ovation. So, Kalpana, give us a quick walkthrough. Before you do that, I want to tell our audience if so. First, it was fun meeting many of you at the conference. We were three people from LARVOL over there, including my son, and it was a lot of Judith was there, and we met a lot of friends, and a lot of people recognize us, recognize me, and it was a lot of satisfaction to be part of the community of people who work on cancer trials.
As you go towards Kalpana, by the way, I know Kalpana has a lot of very informative and very interesting things. I know we really need to go through the presentation. Before that, can you point out 1% that you actually met at ASCO and you were very impressed with them? We're going to reach out and we're going to connect with them. And we also want to highlight them a little bit. So if you could do that, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, Bruno, but
Yes. Um, well, the people really impressed me, and there's a reason why there was a discussion I cannot mention. Yes, the only thing I want to say is that uh, I'm going to keep it. When you train people for media, you teach them answer the question, not the question they ask, but the question you wish they ask. That's one of the trick of when you get media trained, right? Don't answer the question. Whatever you do, don't worry about whatever question they ask. Forget it. Answer the question you wish they ask, right? So here's what I'm going to say. Um, Several very well-known KOLs
okay,
that I don't
okay.
want to mention
I expected that answer.
came
You
to
were
me and
okay.
said, Bruno, and by Bruno, they mean Kalpana and Sandeep and you and the whole team, because you all the work, the people who are doing the work. Um, Keep doing what you're doing. It creates a lot of value. And that doctors is world famous. He's like the number one in his field. I mean, he's like,
Let me guess.
right?
Dr.
And
Ethan Liu?
so, now I won't say who it is. But the
Dr.
point is that
Silveri?
what we all do really matters. And I know we're a bit outsiders. Okay, we're not oncologists, fine, but we know oncology very well. We care about oncology. We work on data, and we try to always remember that behind the data there are people. Behind a Kaplan-Meier curve that drops, a survival curve that bends down, it's actually people who are relapsing or dying. And uh, and sometimes it's easy to forget that. I'm always trying to remind that to us. So that my takeaway for this. And also in the case of Resolute, that big trial, okay, KRAS from RevMed, um, it never happens that all of a sudden you double survival. Usually you tweak a little bit, you don't double survival. That doesn't happen, right? And here you double survival. And now you could say, well, it was 6 months to 12 months, but still, that's the nature of that terrible cancer. And the thing to keep in mind, maybe we can show on the screen, by the way, something. I like to have something on the screen when I talk, otherwise I feel distracted. Um, the point I want to say that we fortunately ourselves don't know because we, the three of us, don't have cancer. We don't know how it feels to have only a finite number of months or years in front of us. And if we did, we might look at the time we have very differently. And 6 months might be an eternity for us. We don't know. We don't know how it feels. We cannot know. And
Mm.
so I heard enough from some people who unfortunately have been in that situation or just looking from their post on social media that I feel that when we have limited time, time
Mm.
expands, time means something very different, and the ability to have one more anniversary, one more event that matters, one more graduation, one more wedding matters a great, great deal, perhaps for me or for whoever is in that condition. So I wanted to make that point for the audience. If you're listening, put a comment, follow us. Um, Thank you for being friendly with our company. I put myself on mute and I let you walk us through the document, Kapana. And again, we're going to pause and spend a little bit of time, obviously, on the Resolute trial.
Yeah, sure. And I love the way you mentioned, Bruno, one more anniversary, one more birthday, or one more marriage. Like, it's very important in certain people's life. And we should be grateful to that particular trial. It is able to prolong or it is able to double the survival rate. It's great.
And
Okay.
another point I want to make is that um, um, usually I don't like all of these videos that pharma people put together. There's one that I really liked that I saw. I didn't see it. I thought it in Europe, maybe at one of the ESMOs. It was from Pfizer, and it was
Mhm.
called One More Day, One More Time, maybe, right? And I liked it not only because that theme, but also because um, the video showed people, of course, meeting, getting bad news and good news, or sharing bad news and good news about their cancer. And usually, nearly all of the communication with patients, they show them fishing or playing with their grandkids, and they don't show the most dramatic part of a patient's uh, experience, which is the bad news, the good news, the moment when they receive that bad news, occasionally the good news, by the way, or they share it with their loved one. And that video focused on that in a balanced way, in a very realistic way, with still a sense of positivity, even if half of the encounters were clearly, you could read from the picture, they were sharing of negative news. And despite that, um, there was a sense of grace and a sense of courage and a sense of hope that came. And that reminded me of Fong Gallagher, our friend Fong, who is, of course, a patient advocate. I don't know if you have her image handy. So Fong was actually a GI cancer survivor of, I think, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, something like that, right, from her diagnosis. She passed away last week. I knew her a little bit. I called her a friend. We put her on our billboard. Do you have the billboard handy? Can you share it maybe? Hmm. So we put her on a billboard just days, maybe one day before or 2 days before she passed away. And it was a beautiful picture with her on her bed and her dog. And what's amazing about Fong is that, and her husband Eddie, both of them together, is that they found a way to show the reality of the disease with essentially zero self-pity, not hiding how terrible it is to be cut from a long life at her age. She was still a young person. Um,
Mm.
but with a sense of grace, courage, and a weird sense of humor that was heartwarming for people who follow them on social media. So I want to mention Fong and Eddie here to people who knew them maybe or heard of them and heard of Fong Gallagher. Right. Okay, back to you. This time I go on mute.
Yeah. Shahir, were you able to see if you can find the billboard? If not,
Um,
it's okay.
I'll let you carry the the presentation forward, and meanwhile, I'll put up the picture as well. Of course,
Yeah.
Fong was a very honorable person, and
Yeah.
we
Okay.
try to honor that as well. Yeah, over to you, Kapana.
Getting back, getting back to the recaps, this time, Bruno, we have built 8 recaps, 5 in the different cancer types areas, and 3 in the specific modalities or the specific product types in the IO, ADC, and the bispecific space. So, as you mentioned, we are going to deep dive into the GI cancer. And the next slide, if you can pitch in. So, there you can see the important trials. And the one trial which we are talking about till now is the Resolute 302 trial. So, that is at the top. And interestingly, Bruno, so there are around 373 tweets altogether for that particular trial, and out of that, only 5 to 6 are negative. So that shows how successful that particular trial is. Negative, as in the differences in the opinion of the lack of efficacy or in terms of the survival rate. It can happen, but if we weigh in the number of tweets, the number of expos, the number is very less. So I just want to highlight that fact.
Can you show the analytics? I think you would. Yeah, we can jump to it even, or show. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at that. 1 second. 1 second. So we can see. So in GI, the amount of buzz, the amount of. I mean, it not just the number of posts, but the number of views, 1.8 million. So it exploded. We don't even see the red component. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was neutral, not red. And so it's as good as it gets in terms of the level of buzz among oncologists. The rest we don't even need to talk about because they're all dwarfed by Resolute 302.
That's correct. Okay. As you can see over here, Bruno, there are like these are the top trials, and we are showing only the top 10 over here, even though there are a number of important trials as such, but we focused on the important trials. And the
Um,
number,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
please go
no,
ahead.
finish your point. Sorry, finish your point.
So the negative tweets are when the press release happened in April. During ASCO, we didn't find
Oh,
them,
I
so
see.
that is we don't see
I
them
see.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But by the way, so our AI extract sentiment of the tweet. So you can see there are 4 trials that got significant negatives. Right?
yes,
MR3 had a sliver of negativity, but there are 4 that are clearly have a lot of negative. And there's no doubt that these 4 are failed trials, right? So the trial failed. And so I don't
that's
even
correct.
need to look at the details. And we reflected that also, obviously, with the uh, with the impact score, right? With the impact score, for the
Yep.
highest impact score being for Resolute 302.
Yes.
So
Yep.
there are two different measurements. There is a number of posts from oncologists, and then there's a number of views, two different measures.
Yes. And as you rightly mentioned, Bruno, the impact score for the attraction 6, it didn't meet the endpoint. Even episode 3 and pump did not meet the primary endpoints as such. So that is the reason why the impact
Yeah.
score is less, and it is rightly correlating with the oncologist reactions, the sentiment. Yeah. Can you scroll down, Shahid?
Oh, he's about to show the billboard with Fawn
Billboard.
Gallagher. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, here we are. So a little side note. This is Fong, right? And that's such a nice picture with her and her dog. Probably toward her last few days, she went into home hospice and went into palliative care a couple of months ago. She announced it by video, and so she was a wonderful person. And again, I think she encouraged a lot of people by the fact that her tone was never complaining; it was appreciation and courage and fierceness. And she showed a picture of her with a scar. She has she was a very, I thought, positive picture of of someone going through that terrible experience of cancer. Now, every patient should be free to have their own style about sharing or not sharing, and frankly, complaining if they want to complain. They have completely the right to complain and
Mm.
to be sad and to be depressed, of course. And so everybody should have the right to react the way they want. They shouldn't, on top of it, feel guilty from being sad, right? Uh, of the challenges they're going through. But certainly, Fong had a very unique way of dealing with that, which I absolutely admire. Um, okay, thank you for showing that. Let's go back to the analytics and flip through a couple of pages so that the audience sees all of the that we get the key results, the summary of the key results.
Yep. So this is the heat map where we show the trials versus the sentiments. So that is how you see the heat map over here. So we have a number of pages, Bruno. So the first is the top trials, as we have seen earlier, and then the key results, then the heat map, and then we have mentioned like that we are celebrating the top GI cancer oncologists on X, and then we have the top trending companies. Apart from this, we also have the single, like the 10 trials, the top 10 trials. We dedicate certain pages to the top 10 trials and give the information. So as you can see over here, we can see the trial, the abstract that is discussed, what is the score that is given, so whether that is a practice changing positive, so we do assign the sentiment for that. And below that we do display the top key tweets, I would say, by the specific oncologist. And the sentiment, as you mentioned, like this is the AI generated. Of course we manually cross check also, but this is AI generated. And we do show certain important screenshots or the certain capturing of the data that is presented during the conference. So which is
What
very
is AI generated? I missed it.
the sentiment. The
Oh,
sentiment.
sentiment. Yeah, yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we do get certain pages. So I would say like 2 pages. One is for the sentiment and the key reactions. And apart from that, we do have the images, the key important results of that particular abstract that is presented at ASCO.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank you. So let's go back to Resolute for a second and zoom on the Kaplan-Meier curve for survival. That of course at the top right is that doubling of survival time. Really impressive data. And as we look at this, I want to mention to the audience, and we're about to close the call, by the way, is that if they want to receive a sample of our report, whether it is in GI or we have the equivalent report in GU, lung, breast, etc., ADC, bispecific. So we can send you a sample of our post ASCO report. So let us know, and it will be an opportunity for you to see in details the deliverable that Kalpana and her colleagues are generated. Next one being for EHA. The next big conference is EHA. All right. Any final point, Shahir or Kalpana? And then I'm gonna keep my celebratory outfit here. Can see change colors. Right? Pretty cool. Um, for the
Did you
day.
take this to ASCO?
No, no, I did not. But maybe I'll bring it to EHA.
I I really appreciate you joining again. Thank you very much, everybody else who actually joined us today. There were a few people that were watching us live. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you joining, Kalpana. That was a very helpful recap that you just presented. And as Bruno said, if anybody is interested, we would be very happy to show you a little more than what we already did. And yeah, would love to talk about it. So appreciate everybody joining. Kalpana, would you like to take over and add the ending notes as we go out?
Yeah, apart from the recap, I just want to mention, since you ended with the Kaplan Meier plot, Bruno. So if someone wanted to compare this Resolute 302 trial with some other Kaplan Meier curve, Clin is the best place. You can go in and see like how each of the trial is being performed. Thank you so much.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.